3 years ago, I dreamed about launching rockets from Bangladesh as no one has ever done that before. From late 2019 to 2022, in these 3 years, I had to learn everything from scratch. This is the story of my rocket journey. When I started, the plan was simple. I wanted to make the body with PVC pipes and use rocket candy as fuel. Now, basically, rocket candy is a mixture of sugar and potassium nitrate, and that's where the problem started. As all oxidizer is banned to sell publicly in Bangladesh, I had no nitrate source. Then for almost a whole year during lockdown, I just wandered around Chittagong in search of potassium nitrate or anything similar. But with no nitrate fertilizer, stump remover, and instant cold packs available, it felt like a dead end. So I had two options in my hand. After spending a year, I could just drop the project and say it's not possible from Bangladesh, or I could push myself. I dropped it. After some time, I started planning again. This time, I wanted to use kerosene and liquid oxygen inspired from RP1, an early liquid rocket fuel. It was a silly idea. Then I tasted some black powder from some small rockets I bought from market on 6th January 2021. But they were so small that I would just get really small amount of fuel in each of them. So it was impractical. During this time, I was so serious about it that I worked with almost every rocket equation. As I couldn't afford pressure gauge, I had to figure out some equations to calculate it. However, soon I realized there is no way I can get any oxidizer or something I can derive it from easily. So again, I had two options. I can wait a few years and take permission to buy oxidizers. But then there's nothing to solve for me. Though it was the easy way, it didn't seem fun to me. I chose the second option. I will synthesize my own fuel. So at first I thought about oxides. Sodium oxide, iron oxide and whatnot. Later I learned that the iron one is a real pyrotechnic mixture called thermite. I was so inexperienced in pyro that I didn't even know about thermites. That way, my knowledge gradually increased, and soon I decided to synthesize traditional oxidizers. The first one, though it may surprise you, was perchlorate. The same thing big rockets use. But you cannot synthesize perchlorate with most of the electrodes, and I couldn't buy platinum or titanium. So the only thing left was DIY lead oxide electrode. I made some small ones. But I made them from acetate. They are not as resistant as nitrate one. Again, if I had lead nitrate, I would have just converted it to potassium nitrate. So I had to stop again. After thinking about a lot of other things, the next big try was nitrate. It was simple and we needed three chemicals. But those chemicals were not available. So I had to make them and then use them to synthesize nitrate. It was a long and inefficient way. By that time, it was already second half of 2021 and my HSC board exam was approaching. It was a complete hopeless situation. It just felt like a lost project. I started thinking about everything I could. Water rockets, bicarbonate rockets, mechanical or whatever I could. I even planned for a hybrid rocket. As a last desperate try, I wanted to make zinc sulfur rocket. But my exams were knocking at the door. I had to stop everything. Eventually, exams ended and it was 2022 already. I was still struggling with the fuel. I was thinking what to do, but there was another pressure to take. University admission exams were close as they take place soon after the boards. I couldn't do anything but some small experiments. Then the admission season started, and by the time I was free again, it was July of 2022. But something good happened during this season. I remembered about an oxidizer that I didn't try to synthesize, mostly because no one used it for rockets. As soon as I was free, I bought a conical flask and later beaker. I tried to synthesize that oxidizer. It was a long, simple process and I followed it step by step. It was a failure. Then I tried it several times, tuning every parameter, and still it was a failure. I became really frustrated. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't even know how a process can work for others, not for me. Then one day, I found another product that can be used for synthesis of this oxidizer and available with better quality. That day, I came home and repeated that process. The moment I finished, crystals started to rain. It was so pure that it looked like glass. After 3 years of trial, I finally had an oxidizer and I thought in a few days rockets will be flying from a roof. I was wrong. This oxidizer is a choosy one. Now I had to find a fuel mixture that burns. Sugar and sulfur was struggling to ignite. I tried different things. After some more tries, the first ignition took place on 6 October 2022. I was way more than happy. It was finally time to fly. Well, not really. These rockets were facing fuse and core problems. And there was another problem. I was thinking if I should really launch rockets from my roof. And I don't have so many options other than that. So I decreased the size of my rockets and tried other fuel mixtures. After some more days, I bought two small rockets from market and ignited them on 27th November 2022. I have noticed a difference between these two rockets. The later one had a less sparkly, more powerful exhaust. Now there can be several reasons behind it. Like maybe some guy took the main fuel and filled it with his kitchen made fuel. You never know. I don't know why I did this project, but I wanted to fly rockets and I did it. In spite of all this barrier I had to overcome, all this problem I had to solve, I kept trying. My challenge to me was to make rockets in my own kitchen out of whatever available. Exactly that's what I did. And for the past 3 years, it kept me flying on the windiest days of my life. My journey ends here. I cannot go further without permission. Right now, I can make rockets in a day, from fuel synthesis to ignition, in a few hundred taka. I hope to see you soon in the next Sopno.